You all can stay up here. I'm going to be super quick, I promise, because all these people will kill me if I'm not. My name's Adam Freeman. I'm the president and CEO here at the Jewish Alliance, and can we give another round of applause for our panel and Pittsburgh? And a special thank you to Robert for coming down and for speaking to us today. I have no shame, so I'm going to do some plugs in a second as well. But I want to thank all of you for being here as well. I have a stack of questions here that I know we didn't get to, and there was a lot of overlap, and we tried to summarize as best as possible with some of the questions that you all had. There are questions that went unanswered tonight, and my commitment to all of you is that we will find a way to answer them through some of the other ways that we can continue these conversations. So this is the beginning, this isn't the end of this conversation, and so I want to just note that and thank you for your commitment and your really great questions. So tonight I'm hopeful because I see all of the folks that are in this room together standing up against anti-Semitism, standing up against hatred, both locally and nationally. 7 months ago we had 1,000 people outside of this building in the aftermath of the horrific shooting at the Tree of Life synagogue in Pittsburgh, and our communities were left grappling with how do we move ahead. Pittsburgh wasn't the first act of anti-Semitism, and as we know now, unfortunately, it hasn't been the last act of anti-Semitism in our country. And I think in this role, it can be scary. I think tonight we saw a lot of things that can scare us. Every morning I get an email that catalogs all of the anti-Semitic incidents that happened within the 24 hours across the room, and that we have that kind of email in this day and age is scary in and of itself. But I want to tell you that I'm not scared, and that's not bravado. For those of you that know me, know that it's not bravado. There isn't much of that there. But I'm not scared because tonight's a perfect example of where power comes from. It comes from community coming together. It comes from a unified community. And as Mitzi said earlier, we're in a new normal. But tonight, I think, helped us to both reflect on the challenging times we live in and to think about how we can truly work together, not just to mitigate the rising anti-Semitism and the rising hatred and racism and Islamophobia that's infiltrated our lives, but it gives us the opportunity to work together, to think proactively, and to, as Victoria said, to really come together not just in times of hardship, but in times of to work together in positive ways. So tonight you did a lot of listening, but we want to hear from you. As Phil said, at your tables there are Post-it notes. We are asking you to write down before you leave any ideas that you have, any thoughts, any takeaways, any ideas for programming around this topic that you want us to think about at the Alliance as we continue combating anti-Semitism and hatred. And on your way out, you'll see a giant whiteboard. We hope that you'll take the Post-it notes and you'll stick them on that whiteboard so that we can catalog all of this and get to work and continue the conversation. So tonight was the beginning of a conversation. It's not by any means the end. We are committed here at the Alliance to work with all of you and to work with all communities to combat anti-Semitism, to combat hatred in all forms. And as I said, tonight I'm really hopeful. And I think together we are going to reduce anti-Semitism in our community and create the strong and vibrant community that we all really desire. So I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank you for staying a little bit longer. This conversation we should have known would be way longer than an hour and a half. It could have been days. And so be thankful that we didn't make it days. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for being so committed to this topic, and have a great night.